बेख्याली में भी तेरा ही ख्याल आए.
Alright, it's time for the ultimate deals video. So I know that a lot of you have a confusion of which tablet to buy, which phone to buy, which laptop to buy, which TV to buy in Flipkart's Big Billion Day sale and Amazon Great Indian Festival. And therefore, we've decided to consolidate some of the best deals. So not all the deals will be here, but our team's favorite deals, hand-picked and carefully curated for you, will be in this video. And trust me, this will definitely be helpful not just for you guys, but for your family members, for your friends, for anybody who's walking on the street. Just go out and share this video with them. Alright, if you're here for the first time, I'm Ashad. You're watching Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now you must be thinking I'll start by talking about the phone deals, but no, I'm gonna make you wait till the end. Let's start with the tablet deals, and there are 4 great tablets that you can consider in this sale season. So the first one is the Xiaomi Pad 6. It's about a year old, but the price has dropped to 17,000 and it's a deal worth recommending for that price. Primarily because you've got a Snapdragon 870, so basically performance will be sorted, and you've got a 144Hz refresh rate display as well. Plus Xiaomi has an ecosystem, so you can buy accessories separately, and Xiaomi's MIUI for tablet actually has been tuned well. Now there's also an iPad under 20,000, and that's the iPad 9th generation. Now unfortunately, a deal on the 10th generation hasn't been revealed at the time of shooting this video, but that could also go under 30,000, so keep an eye out for that. If you want an iPad, then this is the most affordable one that you can buy this sale season. Now most of you can live with this iPad except for one major problem, and that is the fact that it's the 64GB variant of it, and that's a little too less in 2024 if you ask me. There's also a great deal on the Tab S9 FE Plus, and it's gone down to under 30,000 rupees now. And for this price, you get a large screen tablet, which is fantastic of course, but you get an S Pen in the box. It's damn cool. Now this display has a 90Hz refresh rate, you've got 8 gigs of RAM, 128GB of storage, so all that is good. And you've got a fairly large battery, fairly decent charging speed. That's not a problem. But my concern is the Exynos 1380, which is not the most powerful chip, but still a great deal regardless, because if you're using a Samsung phone already, then you can actually club it with this tablet to create an ecosystem which is good. And the final deal is the OnePlus Pad, which has gone down in price to 24,000 rupees. And for that price, it's a very powerful tablet with the Dimensity 9000, and you also get a 90Hz refresh rate display, large display. Plus OnePlus's software experience is pretty decent on the tablet side of things. Alright, next up, we're going to be talking about laptops. Now, if you're looking for an entry-level laptop, then you've got the MSI Modern 14 and the 15. So if you want the 14-inch version of the laptop, you can go for the Modern 14, and if you want the 15.6-inch version, you can go for the Modern 50. Now these laptops have an Intel Core i3 1215U, you've got 16 gigs of RAM, 512GB of SSD. So I think specs wise it's actually pretty decent. Now if you're looking for a budget gaming laptop around the 50,000 price range, then the MSI Thin 15 series is actually pretty good. You've got 2 variants of it, one with the Nvidia RTX 2050 and the other one with the RTX 3050, and both of them are like, the 2051 is under 50,000 and the 3051 is about 53,000, and I think that the 3051 would be obviously better. For this price you get a 15.6-inch IPS LCD 144Hz refresh rate display. You've got the Core i5 12450H, you've got 16GB of RAM, 512GB of SSD as well. Now if you want like a really great build quality and RGB keyboard, then that won't be possible on this. Now if you have more budget and if you want a flagship gaming laptop, you can take a look at the MSI Katana 15, which has an Nvidia RTX 4070 for 1,20,000 rupees. Of course, in this price range, you can get laptops from other brands with a Core i9, but you will have to compromise on the graphics card and you will get only a 4060. So if you want a 4070 based laptop for a very good price, the MSI Katana 15 is the one for you. Now if you don't want gaming and if you want like a thin and light productivity laptop like me, then the Acer Swift Go 14 is a good option because it's available for 80,000 rupees now. Now for this price, you get a Core Ultra 5 16GB of LPDDR 5X RAM type, 512GB NVMe SSD as well. So for performance, it's really good, but I would have expected a slightly better display with respect to refresh rate, but even otherwise, you've got an OLED panel, which is nice. And the final laptop deal is on the MacBook Air M2. Yes, the laptop that I actually daily drive every day, and now this is available for 70,000 rupees. And for that price, the M2 is a kick-ass processor and it can literally fly through any task you throw at it, including video editing. Now the only downside is the 256 gigs of storage, but you know what? I actually use is the 256GB variant. So if you're prudent about your storage, maybe you can work with it. Next up, let's talk about the deals on televisions, and I'm pretty certain that a lot of you are looking for a new TV. And I think Amazon's Kickstarter deals have already started on these TVs, by the way. Now, if you're looking for a budget TV under 20,000 rupees, we've picked out two TVs. One is from Hisense, the other one's Xiaomi. So this Hisense TV has a Full HD panel, but the Xiaomi one has a 4K panel. But the difference between Hisense and Xiaomi is that Hisense actually uses Google TV, which I actually prefer over Fire TV. Both of these also support HDR10, so these are pretty good entry-level TVs. I prefer the Hisense one primarily because its panel quality is very good. Now, under 40,000 is another TCL TV. I'm recommending a lot of TCL TVs because I really like the quality of the TCL panels. And this one is the TCL QLED Pro. Now, this is a 55-inch 4K QLED TV with 120Hz refresh rate. Now, if you want a TV for budget gaming setups, then this TCL TV could be perfect for you. Now, under 50,000, there's a Toshiba TV for 43,000 rupees, and it's a 55-inch TV. Now, this one's also a 4K QLED panel, but it's got full array local dimming. That for me is what makes this a great deal, because then you'll get deeper contrasts on this panel. You know what? Xiaomi launched an OLED TV, the only OLED TV they've launched, and it's a 55-inch TV, and it is going for under 60,000 rupees now. Seriously, an OLED TV for that price is a crazy good deal. So if you've been wanting to buy an OLED TV, then this could be a good starter TV, because the panel is also very good. Extremely deep contrast, just all of the OLED qualities that you'll expect, all of that is there. Now, I was confused between two TVs specifically, the Hisense U7N and the TCL C755, because they use mini LED technology. And mini LED is actually very close to OLED in terms of performance. You've got deep contrast ratio. But the good thing about mini LED is that it can actually do higher peak brightness than OLED. Both of these TVs have over 1000 nits of brightness. So if you have a room with like extremely bright light, then the Hisense or the TCL TV would be great for you. That apart, these also have full array local dimmings and all of the gaming features that you can expect, like 144Hz, variable refresh rate, ALLM, all of that. Now, I have been recommending Hisense, TCL, Toshiba, Xiaomi, of course, and no LG, Samsung, Sony, because we didn't see good deals on TVs yet. So the moment those deals come in, we'll definitely recommend. But LG TVs, there are some good deals. There are a couple of LG TVs that I noted. One of that was the LG A2, which was launched in 2022. The 55-inch OLED is available for 80,000, which is probably the most entry-level starting point for an LG TV. And the 65-inch version is about like a little more than $1 lakh. So if you want like a bigger OLED TV, then you could consider this. But note that in LG's OLED TV hierarchy, the A series is at the lowest end of the spectrum. You've got A, then B, then C, and then G. The C is obviously the better one, and the C4 and the C3, if you can get a good deal on that. If you can get like the C3 for say 1,40,000. In fact, for TVs, also take a look at offline store deals, because they can actually do a good price match as well if you show them the Amazon price. Alright, finally, let's talk about the best deals on phones. Under 20,000 rupees, the CMF Phone 1 is my first recommendation. For 13,000 rupees, you get that replaceable back panel, you get extra accessories. In fact, the accessories are being sold for 1 rupees. And of course, you've got the Dimensity 7300, and a recent update apparently gave it BGMI 90 FPS support too. My second recommendation would be the Poco X6 Pro for all the gamers out there, with the Dimensity 8300 Ultra for 20,000 rupees. Excellent deal. Fun fact, the Poco X6 Pro actually takes better looking photos than the Poco F6, which is more expensive. Also, there's a deal on the Poco F6, which is available for 22,000 rupees with a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. Of course, Poco F6 is for gamers, and if you're looking for a good gaming phone under 30,000 rupees, then the F6 makes a lot of sense. But if you're looking for a slightly more balanced phone, the Realme GT60 is a fantastic phone for 26,000 rupees. For that price, you get the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3, a curved display, an LTPO panel no less. So overall, it's a very good phone. In fact, the camera performance when we tested it out was pretty good too. But if you want an even more flagship experience for under 30,000 rupees, the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE has gone for under 30,000, and the Exynos 2200 inside this phone is actually a very decent performer. For that price, you get IP68 rating, wireless charging, you get a telephoto camera, you get Samsung's promise of long software updates. But the only problem is that you don't get a charger in the box and the charging speeds are slow. But otherwise, a very well-rounded phone, not just for Samsung fans, for anybody who's planning to get into the Samsung ecosystem. Under 40,000 rupees, I'm recommending one deal, and that is the Samsung Galaxy S23. It's a compact phone. It's a fantastic phone for that price. Again, just like the S23 FE, you got all the flagship features, and the performance of the cameras will be way better. In fact, the S23 is one of the better performing camera phones, and a flagship phone with a proper offer 3x telephoto camera, of course, wireless charging, IP68 rating, all of that. Now, under 50k, my favorite phone deal has to be the Xiaomi 14. Now, this is yet another compact phone, but technically it's not very, very compact. It's got a fairly large screen and you've got the quad curve display and OLED panel, 120Hz refresh rate. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous panel, no doubt. Plus, you've got IP68 rating, wireless charging, all of those, because this is a flagship phone and you've got a nice 3.2x telephoto camera. The camera performance is actually very, very good. But the most important thing is you got the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor for under 50,000. Actually, it's about I think 47,000 if I'm not wrong. Now, if you're looking for ultra flagships, then there is a deal on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra. The S23 Ultra has dropped down in price to 70,000 rupees. And for that price, I think it's a better deal than the S24 Ultra, primarily because the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 was great. And the camera performance, actually a lot of people prefer the S23 Ultra over the S24 Ultra. You've got the S Pen, you've got Samsung's awesome One UI. There's a lot going for it and there's a lot that works for it. In comparison, the S24 Ultra, apparently along with discounts, you can get it for about 97,000 odd rupees. And for that price, I mean, it's the S24 Ultra, guys. It's the absolute king of Android flagships in 2024. It's been the king since when it launched and it's continued to be the king until now. And for the very first time, I actually saw a great deal on the iPhone Pro series phones. Yeah, the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max are available for 90,000 rupees and 110,000 rupees. The only problem with the 15 Pro's deal is that it's the 128GB variant of the phone. The 15 Pro Max is actually the 256GB variant. So that could be a bit of a bottleneck. Keep that in mind. Now, if you want a Pro iPhone, then you don't really have to buy the 16 Pro or the Pro Max this year, because the 15 Pro and the Pro Max also come with Apple Intelligence support. But there is one thing I must mention is that I'm sure that a lot of people must have picked these phones at these prices from other countries when it launched, right? But the best flagship phone deal is for one of the best flagships we've ever tested, the OnePlus Open. Because genuinely, it has been good in our experience. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, excellent. It's held up really well. This is, of course, the latest, color variant of the phone. But we've been using the other ones and they're still holding up really well. The mechanism is damn nice. The software experience is pretty good. Yeah, you cannot go wrong with this one. I'm just waiting for the OnePlus Open 2. All right, so that was a pretty long video, but I'm presuming that the deals would have been helpful for you. Now, let's keep this as a two-way communication video. This will be the only video that we upload. And what we can do is that the moment we see more deals that are worth it, especially audio product deals, which we haven't spoken about, we'll definitely put that in the link in the description or maybe in a pinned comment. So you can, go ahead and check that out. But also note that you can ask your questions and we'll try to answer them for you. We can use that as an option as well. Apart from that, if you want a live session with us, maybe on Instagram or maybe on YouTube itself, let us know. We'll try to do that for you. All right, that's it from us for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.